Hey, I'm Jay Royster, and today we are at the Hawk, Charlotte's newest luxury boutique apartment developed by Ram Realty Advisors. We are going to meet with Rachel Russell Krenz, and she's going to tell us about it. So let's check it out. Rachel, thank you for having us here to the Hawk, Charlotte's newest luxury boutique apartment, and really amazing, unique project. So thanks for having us today.
Yeah, happy to have y'all.
So before we get into talking the specifics of this deal and how things came together on this project, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into commercial real estate. Sure.
I started out in DC at the National Trust for Historic Preservation and realized that I wanted to do more than just preservation. I loved that because of the placemaking. So I went and got my master's in city and regional planning with a focus in preservation and development. I was lucky enough to have Clay Grubb offer me a job to handle an entitlement of Glen Lennox and Chapel Hill, and the moment I touched development, I knew that was the sweet spot. It was like I heard a choir sing. I'm like, this is what I'm meant to do.
Awesome. So as far as this project goes, your firm sold the design center to Asana in 2017, a very significant transaction for Charlotte, especially South End, but it's had a tremendous impact on the Camden Road corridor. But as a part of that transaction, you all retained the parcel where Lowe's Tech Hub is going, 1,600 jobs, as well as this parcel. What was really appealing, or why did you all believe in this location for a luxury boutique apartment?
Well, South End has already proven itself as a place that people want to live. There are a lot of apartments here. The absorption rate here is highest in the whole market. It's a proven submarket for people to live here. But what was missing is a product type that was a higher end. People who have a higher income and want a nicer finish home, they don't have anywhere to live in South End. They may want to live here, but the only options are in the Uptown neighborhood. So we knew it was a no-brainer that people would want to live here, and it's missing a demographic that wants to be in this neighborhood.
Absolutely. Tons of food and beverage options. Asana has really done an amazing job with the design center, and there's really a major walkability component to South End as a whole, and especially this site. Your firm has developed a lot of other projects around South End, but those projects have been more in the traditional 250 to 300 unit range, whereas this one is 71 units. Those projects are on 2 to 5 acres, whereas this one is on under a half acre. What was the most challenging aspect to developing on such a tight site and in some ways recreating the wheel?
Yeah, so the site's only 0.36 acres, which is obviously really small. Hub South End was over 4 acres, so we were able to get 265 units there. Here at Hawk, it's not only 0.36 acres, but it's also a stormwater easement, so it's even less than that. It's pretty difficult to develop on that small of a site, but we were determined this location right at the design center is just killer, 2 blocks from the light rail. We had to figure it out. People want to live here, and we were going to find a way to do it. So the only way to make it work is to go up, and fortunately we were zoned UMUD, so that allowed us to get the height. Previously, at that time we were rezoning, South End wasn't known for the height, so we were one of the first projects to go in with height, and that's the only way we could get the unit count up. But still, it's only 71 units. To spread the operating costs across 71 units is very difficult. This project needs a property manager, a leasing, a maintenance, just the same as any other project.
Yeah, and so you all are clearly adding to the skyline here, but one of the unique things about this project is the construction type. It was developed or constructed with precast concrete as opposed to cast in place. Tell us about the difference in those construction methods and why that was advantageous for you all to do that here.
Sure. Well, we obviously had to go high, so we couldn't use wood frame. Every other project in the South End, except for one of them, is wood frame. Cast in place concrete would have been an obvious answer for this project. However, the footprint of the site is so small that the efficiencies of pouring every floor and waiting for it to set made it so that the schedule would be really long. So we worked with Metromont to look at potentially doing precast. Honestly, we were really nervous about doing it. It was a risk. This is the first project in the Carolinas and very few in the Southeast that have done precast. So,
very innovative.
Yeah, we were nervous. It took a lot of conversations, but in the end, it was a great choice. It cut our schedule by 6 months. It made so that we could show up with panels of the exterior that have the exterior cladding, the insulation, the interior. It all showed up from Greenville, and we could put it up really quick. There's a time-lapse video showing how quick it is, and it's pretty impressive. I feel like the neighborhood was just sitting on the corner. Little kids were just watching, to see how this project came together.
Yeah, absolutely, really cool. So 13 stories, 71 units, 6 units per floor. Another interesting aspect to this that adds to the upscale nature are the finishes. So you have things like custom walnut cabinetry, for example, large expansive windows, a lot of other details in the finishes, marble floors in the lobby, original artwork from local artists. What was your approach to these design features?
We knew that given the boutique size of this project, we were going to have to garner enough rent to cover the cost to operate it. In order to get that rent, we had to deliver a high quality project. So we went out and made sure that everything we selected, every single thing in this building, we made sure we approved, that we touched, it was high quality. We made sure to think through on the way a resident uses their home. Little details that you don't see in other apartment communities, for example, the shower rooms. There was a lot of thought that went into it. The actual fixture, we looked at, countless amount of samples of hardware, and we picked the one we did because you could control the temperature and the flow. And we put that on the other side of the shower head, right in the door, so people didn't have to turn on the shower and get wet.
Wow.
Those are the little details that we made sure that when a resident moves in, it's not just about leasing the apartment, it's about when they live here, they feel like they're getting a high quality project that makes their life better.
Yeah, the attention to detail, no doubt, is very high, and I know it's going to be a very successful project. So you all are going to own and operate the 71 units here. You've got a third-party management firm, but the ground floor retail, 6,200 square feet. You've got a great investment partner in Asana. What led to that partnership? They're going to actually own in a condo transaction that ground floor retail, but what led to working with Asana on that?
Yeah, so when we sold the design center to Asana, we retained the rights to develop the site, but we agreed to sell the retail back to them. So we have condoed out the building, and Asana and Thrift has handled the actual leasing of it, and it's been amazing. Every tenant wants to be in South End. This location is not just great for a residential, but it also is for retail. So to be a resident at Hawk and have a top-notch restaurant, on your ground floor is so urban. It's exactly why people want to live in South End, and we've been really happy with that.
I guess as a part of that, you share the parking deck. Mm-hmm. There is connectivity from the parking deck to the Hawk. There's a real exclusive feel to this. It almost feels like condos when you walk in the lobby or come in from the parking deck. What was your approach to having that kind of exclusive feel?
Sure. Well, part of the premise here is that it's a boutique exclusive project. In order to do that and also park in a deck that's next door, we had to make sure that you had a private feel. So the residents had their own floor in the parking deck, and we built a bridge between the two buildings. So that way, if you're a resident, you don't have to come down through the street.
So Rachel, the kitchens are amazing, the penthouse views are really incredible. What are some of your favorite aspects of the Hawk between finishes or individual units?
Yeah, I mean, the views you mentioned, the penthouse views are great, but every single unit in this apartment building has the most amazing views in all of Charlotte. It's unreal to be able to see the mountains and to see the uptown skyline with no obstructions to that view is pretty impressive. So when people come to tour Hawk, their jaw just drops at the view. And then as we take them through the unit, it's debatable about the favorite. Most realtors will say when they're selling homes, the kitchens and the bathrooms are a big selling point. And so we focus on that a lot here at Hawk. The kitchens, instead of being at the front entry like they are at every other apartment community, they're put on the exterior of the wall, so you have windows, so you can be cooking and looking out the window at the Charlotte skyline. It's a big shift in apartment design. So just making that unit plan change helped a lot in making this feel more like a condo or a home as opposed to an apartment.
So sustainability was really important to us in the development of this project. The entire community is a smart home community. So we have an app called Rently that a resident downloads, and they can control their entry to the doors, the thermostat, all their light switches. You can turn on the oven from the bed. It's National Green Building Standard certified.
Well, Rachel, thank you for showing us around Hawk, telling us more about it. It's going to have a great addition to South End as well as the skyline of South End. What else is RAM going to focus on moving forward? Any new projects or developments in the works?
We've got a lot in the works. So we're focused on high quality locations and then figuring out what makes sense product-wise for that specific location. So we've got a couple deals in the works that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, well, you're a very versatile group, and we're happy that you all are in the Carolinas.
Well, thank you.
Well, before we get out of here, what do you say we go check out the penthouse suite? Love to see those views.
Let's do it.
Thanks for watching, and if you're interested in keeping up with the latest developments in Charlotte, make sure to like and subscribe.